Chicks podcast. We are Mary Ellen Humphrey.
Hello.
Shannon Reber. And I am Susan Landrigan. We're coming to you today from the Innovation Studio at Lakeshore Center for the Arts in Westfield, New York. Today, we're going to talk about a writing community.
Writing community.
Indeed.
Well, this is something that I have personally been thinking about for many, many years. In fact, in 1999, I attended the Maui Writers Retreat
I
and
remember
Conference.
you talking about that, yes.
And it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. My son was stationed in Hawaii, so I got on a plane and I went out there. And it was 8 days of retreat and 4 days of conference, and it was absolutely amazing.
That sounds so
and
nice.
I interviewed the founder or organizer, a guy named John Tilius, and I expressed to him how I just had such a great experience, and he said, that is by design. We are attempting to create a writing community. And of course, it was in Hawaii. He used a Hawaiian word for it, which I don't remember to this day. But I thought
that
about
could make it all nice, just being there.
Just being there. Yeah, it was very nice. It was on Maui. So I came back and I thought about this, and I really believe that writers need other writers. There was an author in Massachusetts named Glenda Baker. She had a organization called the New England Writers Network.
Okay.
And her motto, her tagline was, writers need other writers.
Okay.
And so that's kind of, you guys have gotten to know me since I've gotten here. That's kind of my thing, is to create a writing community that's nurturing and supportive, that we as writers can talk shop and talk inspiration and critique and help one another, all with the goal of us supporting ourselves as writers.
Precisely.
And so I think that's a very important thing in today's world, even more so.
It's true.
35 years ago, and I went in 1999, so gosh, it was 35 years ago. Wow. It was important because...
Wait, seriously? 35? No.
No, 25.
25.
25 years ago. Yeah, thank you. I was feeling old there for a minute.
How old am I? Oh my gosh.
I just jumped ahead a decade.
You did.
And believe me, it feels like it jumps ahead a decade. But at that time, I was working. I still had a lot of friends. But in starting to write, I had very little confidence. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yes.
I wasn't sure, was this good, was it bad? And so writers' groups became very important.
Right.
But it was also very important to be selective.
Exactly.
And some groups fit some people.
Right.
And other people fit other kinds of groups.
See, when I first started writing, I was basically just writing and showing it to a friend, and my friend was always like, "This is wonderful. This is great. I love it. This is the perfect story," and she never had any real critiques. But I was asked to join a group. It was the woman's name is Linda Lavid. She's I don't actually know how many books she has now, but she's a very interesting person, and she's got very interesting books. And I joined her and Charles Freedom Long.
Okay.
And because of them, because of their help, Linda is a very straightforward nonfiction type writer, and Charlie is what did he call it? What's Charlie call his writing?
Well, it's sci-fi.
Sci-fi, but it's spiritualist sci-fi.
Is it metaphysical? No?
I think you're right. It's something along that line.
I should know.
But the three of us meshed really well because I'm pure fantasy and they're each a different kind, and it just worked really well. And it helped to improve my writing. Absolutely. And they were very good at giving honest critiques.
So that's the key. You have to find the right mix of personalities.
Yes.
And it takes some determination.
Yes.
That you don't let that get dissolved into something that isn't functional.
Right.
So for it to be functional, you have to be respectful.
Right.
You have to support and celebrate each other's successes.
Right.
That's really important. If somebody publishes a book, celebrate it with them.
Right.
Then that's what we do in
Yeah,
our
we do.
That is what.
We
Yes.
do.
Yes.
Yes. I think the writers. I think I brought all of my years of attending various writers groups to this writers group in order to create what I think is a really good working group. I know we can always improve things, but
of course, yeah.
But we've grown quite a bit now.
Yeah.
We have 2 sessions now on Wednesdays, and one of the things that I'm going to be and have been very concerned with is that we have the right mix, and we don't dilute what works with all kinds of ideas. We
Right,
need to,
right.
because we all have ideas.
Exactly.
We need to take what works and then grow from that.
Exactly.
So
yes.
critiquing is a big piece of finding a writing community.
It's true. Yes.
And it needs to be, I wish it was a different word than critique, because critique sounds like criticize. But in the intellectual
does,
world,
yeah.
and
But,
it's really meaning to look at it objectively and make
Well, you can
suggestions.
criticize in a good way. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Constructive criticism.
Constructive.
Yes.
There you go.
So I often use terms like feedback.
Yes.
What kind of feedback do you want?
Right.
Do you want us to look for how the story flows,
Right.
the development of the characters, the dialogue? What is it that's important? And focus basically on one thing.
Right.
Don't try to do everything all at once, because then you can become overwhelmed.
Right.
And anytime you have somebody in your sphere of people, whether it's a writers group or your sphere, your social sphere, who isn't supportive of your dream,
Yes.
ask you what value they're providing to you.
Precisely. Yes.
Because we should support everyone's dream.
Yes.
Exactly.
No matter whether it's ours or not. It's
It's
theirs.
Even if
Respect
you
that.
don't think it's something that's worthwhile, it's worthwhile to them.
Correct.
It's true. Yes.
Correct.
Yes. Exactly.
And it's very easy for an inadvertent comment or a deliberate comment to totally derail you.
Yes.
I've seen
If
that,
that
many,
happens,
many times. Yes.
If that happens, it's even more important that you have people that you know in your sphere of writers
Yeah,
who are
yes.
going to help you through that.
Right.
Because you're really having a writing crisis when that
Right.
happens.
Exactly. Exactly.
I've had that happen in a writers group that I really liked, and I was unable to write for 3 months.
Okay.
3 months. It was like I was just smacked in the face, injured, and could not write.
Right.
So when I say it's very important, it is very important.
Yes.
We wear our heart on our sleeves. We put our words from our brain onto this paper,
It's
and
true.
or the computer, and we show it to people. And oh gosh, are they going to say something about me? I
Right.
think a lot of that goes back to some of us who grew up with really English teachers, and I was an English teacher, but
okay.
teachers who were, got that red pen out and, oh, this is awful, and check mark, it's just...
My friend Megan, she always says that every time you critique her stuff, please, whatever you do, don't use red.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't care. It can be blue, it can be purple. Just don't use red. I have trauma associated with the red pen. Like, yeah, okay, I get that. It makes sense.
Red for me is kind of like blood. It's cutting you.
It's
like,
cutting you
and each one of
open.
those red marks is like your blood dripping on the page. But you
Exactly.
do have to be able to take critique. You have
Exactly,
to be able
yes.
to say, I want my product, my production of these words to be the
Yes.
best I can do.
Right, right.
And so to do that, you do need feedback.
You do, yes. It's
But
true.
we can do it in a kind and gentle way.
Precisely.
We can do it in a helpful way.
Right.
So the rules are be kind and helpful, look for good things, and don't think of your version of the story. Respect that this is the author's story. I see a lot of times we tend to go, well, I'd write it this way, or I think you should write this story.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so we have to really be sensitive in a writing community.
In a lot of writing groups, there are the type A personalities, and then there's the people. I'm more of the go with the flow. I'll do what I'm told because I'm afraid of being yelled at kind of thing. But the
We
type
won't
A's.
yell at you.
Well, thank you. But
Don't worry.
the type A's do take control. And they will tell you, no, this has to change. This changes right here, or your writing sucks. And there are a lot of those in a lot of groups. And it's really nice when you can have people like you who are kind about your critiques, and you can tell us that this could actually come sooner, and you actually improve
Right.
rather than saying change this now or your work sucks. And that's something that
It's very hard to see your own,
yes,
I don't want to say mistakes, but your
Yeah.
own needs for improvement.
right,
And I know, because I've been writing a long time, that I mix up tenses. I have past tense and present tense in the same paragraph. I may have this happened here when it should have happened here. I know all that. But
Sometimes spell check.
spell check.
will mess you up.
Yes, it's
It doesn't
true.
always work, though, because it gets words that are similar, but different meanings.
Exactly.
Like the word lesson and lesson. This lessens your burden, and this is a lesson you better learn. So, there's
Yes.
different things that spell check isn't going to catch.
It's true. It's true because it's not misspelled. It's not misspelled. It's
But
just
the
the wrong
other
word.
part of that is that having a writing community of people who do what you do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gives you this camaraderie. It gives you this community
Right.
that you can go to and you can recreate with, and you
Right.
can learn from.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
it's just a really great thing. It's like if you have any special interest, you want to find people who share that. with you,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, our writers group is the first one that I've ever been in.
Oh, really?
And it's been tremendously helpful for me.
Oh, congratulations.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've been in a lot, and I've learned a lot from it. And sometimes if you're in a writers group and somebody writes something that you know doesn't work well, there's something wrong with it, and you feel reluctant to say something.
Mm-hmm.
And this happened to me. I went to a writers group. It was in Henniker, New Hampshire. Nobody knows what that is, right? It's the only Henniker on earth. That's what it says when you come in town.
Okay.
Anyway,
okay.
I went to this writers group, and I didn't know anybody. I'd only been there once or twice. And this lady read something that she was sending to a publisher, and it was offensive. It was very offensive to me, to my ears. I was like, ooh, oh. But I looked around because they all knew her, and
Okay.
I took my cue from them. They didn't say anything.
Okay. Okay.
And so I felt kind of bad, but I didn't say anything. And so maybe 2 months later, I went back to that group, and she had gotten a response from the publisher she sent it to.
Okay.
And she was kind of laughing about it, but also kind of disturbed.
Right.
Because the letter said, "Dear whoever she was, don't ever send us anything again."
Oh my goodness.
And so I tucked that in my little,
Yeah.
okay, here's a lesson, Mary Ellen. Even though you didn't know her, the kind thing to do would have been to say, "Are you concerned that that particular part might offend somebody? Because it's just not kosher." And maybe then others would have spoken up.
It's true.
as
It's
well.
true. Yeah.
So I am very actively working here in Westfield
Yes,
with the
you
Arts
are.
Center
Yes, you
and
are.
with all of my writer friends to create a writing community.
Yes.
And I think we're getting there.
Yes, you've done a very nice job with
Well,
that.
we all are. It's not just me. No, one person can't do everything. You have to have people
But you
who
are
share
the head
that.
honcho.
Yes.
You are the head honcho. You got this.
And the vision
And the vision.
that you
yes.
all are taking. I'm so happy you're taking on.
Well, maybe we should go on to our word for the day.
Ooh, I think so.
And
Let's
our
see.
word for today is debacle.
Ooh.
Oh gosh, I hope we didn't just do a debacle.
It's usually used synonymously with fiasco to mean a complete failure.
Oh,
And it
I
can also
have many of
mean
those.
it can also refer to a complete disaster, though typically not one that causes significant suffering or loss.
Like when I forget to turn on the microphone.
Yeah,
we've had
like that.
we have
We've had one or two of those.
we've had a
Yeah.
couple debacles. Yeah, but nobody knows about it except us. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, now.
So I like more positive words. That's kind of a downer.
That I
debacle.
love that though, because every once in a while you're writing and you feel like your work is a debacle, and then somebody else reads it and goes, "This is amazing. I love this." And it's that.
Does a debacle in your writing cause interest?
I think so.
Oh, that's
yes,
a very
I think
good.
so.
Yes, I think you need debacles in writing, especially
In a story.
Yeah,
In a story,
It's an
yes.
interesting way to look at it because
Yes.
I think of it as obstacles or challenges.
Precisely.
But debacle can be when they've tried to solve a problem and it fails.
And it fails exactly.
And then you're left with, oh no, now what?
Exactly.
And hopefully
that
the
makes the
author
story far
knows.
more interesting. Yes, yes, yes.
Debacle, wow.
That's a good one.
Wow.
Well, I think it was a good word. So
It's a good
well
word.
done,
Yes,
Susan.
it's
Let's
a
hope
good
for
word.
no debacles today.
None.
So far, so good.
Thank you for spending time with us today. We value your feedback, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.